Die Wohnung oder das Haus. Das Haus, die Häuser. Die Wohnung, die Wohnungen. So when we're looking at these words, we're talking about our dwelling place. So the German verb wohnen means to live, um, in the sense of to dwell. So wo wohnst du? Yeah. So where do you live? Wo wohnen Sie? Where do they live or you live? Formal. Wo wohnt ihr? Where do y'all live? So if we think about wohnen, that will kind of help us with this word, Wohnung. Um, so Wohnung is a dwelling place, but the best translation would be in American English an apartment, or in British English um, a flat. Das Haus is a house. So for English, that's a good, cognate. It sounds like the same word. So a house, houses, and the apartment, the apartments. So that may help you as we dissect um, more of this. So I'm going to go through a couple of different types of dwellings, more specific than just a house or an apartment. Um, one of the things you're going to notice about this grammar construction is this is using a different case. So if you've only looked at nominative or subject case, an accusative, direct object case, dative um, in German is typically the indirect object, but here we just need to note that when we use the preposition in or in English, this is going to make it dative. So kind of watch out and see what happens here. So anything that's masculine or neuter will be einem. Anything that's feminine, einer. So ich wohne in einem Einfamilienhaus. So this is if you break it down, right? It's a uh, it's a ein, think one. It's a one family house. So a single family home. Um, some examples of German kind of Neubau, new construction, um, kind of just the way a German house is built. So a single family home. Ich wohne in einem Doppelhaus. So it's literally double houses. They're going to share a common wall, um, and they're, one construction, but separate enough that you can have, two families living. It's very similar to a duplex, if you will. So, ich wohne in einem Doppelhaus. A Reihenhaus. So, Doppel, double. So, two. If we're looking at a Reihenhaus, a Reihe, think about it as a row. So, a row of homes, that's going to be a whole bunch of them connected together. So, here we can see, one, eins, zwei, drei. Here we see eins, zwei, drei, vier. So a Reihenhaus is another type of dwelling in Germany. It's almost sort of like a condo in a sense, in a kind of different sense, but shared walls again. So ich wohne in einem Reihenhaus. Ich wohne in einem Hochhaus. So hoch means high. So it's like a high rise, right? A skyscraper almost in a sense. So those will typically have a Wohnung as part of it, but the building, the Gebäude, the structure itself, is a Hochhaus. Ich wohne uh, in einem Bauernhof, in a farmhouse. So that's quite possible too. Germany is a very um, has agrarian roots. A number of people will live on a farm as well. So, if we have a feminine word, that's in einer. So, feminine. Ich wohne in eine Wohnung. So I live in an apartment. So the building itself, but then a single apartment. One of the most interesting constructs of German kind of dwelling homes is this specific type of architecture, and this would be something to note. Das Fachwerkhaus. We call it like a half-timbered home. It's that construction where you have the wood here, um, and then the wall and plaster and fittings kind of between those joints in a sense. So this is a Fachwerkhaus. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fachwerkhäuser. So to make it plural, you're making the word house plural. Thinking like a compound noun, Häuser. So die Fachwerkhäuser, das Fachwerkhaus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fachwerkhäuser. So parts of a house we need to dissect. Das Zimmer, das Badezimmer, die Küche, das Schlafzimmer, die Wohnung, das Wohnzimmer, and hopefully you're noticing anything that's Zimmer is das, because with the rule with compound nouns, it takes the gender of the last word. So this is actually really nice to have, a lot of Zimmer, 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 Zimmer to make them das. Der Keller, you'll almost think of this as the word cellar, right? So your basement. Das Dach, das Esszimmer, so essen to eat. So the eating room, we call it the dining room. Das Arbeitszimmer, so Arbeit, work, the workroom, so your home office or study. So those are all different rooms that you might find in your home. Some important construction things to talk about within a room. You would have die Wand, and there's a couple different German words for wall, but a wall that surrounds you in a room is a Wand. That's feminine. Die Treppe ends in an E, typically D. Treppe are stairs, so I think about like I traipse up the Treppe. Die Tür, die Haustür. So you might have multiple doors, like a door within a room, but your main door, your front door, is the door of the house. So hence Haustür. And das Fenster, window. All right, so outdoor elements of a home. Der Garten, great cognate. Think Kindergarten. Die Mauer. So die Mauer is like Berliner Mauer, like the Berlin Wall. This is an outdoor, huge construction, typically creating a border or a boundary. In German, die Grenze, like a border. Der Zaun, if you have any fencing. Um, der Rasen, that's like your grass or your lawn. So in German, you would say, I mow the Rasen. Die Terrasse, porch. So a little bit of kind of the outdoor elements. So consider this Nummer 1. Was kann man hier sehen? Also was für ein Haus ist hier? Like what kind of house is this? So take a look at it, see if you can figure that out based off of the drawing. And then also examine and figure out what are some of the rooms. So kind of 1a, what kind of dwelling is this? 1b, what kind of rooms do you see? So here you're going to notice a few things that weren't technically in our lists, but you're going to want to write down now. A Diele is a hallway. Schlafen, Schlafzimmer. DU is for Dusche, shower. WC, water closet. So Badezimmer. Kochen. So this is like a studio open area. So it doesn't have a separate Küche, but this is the Kochen area. Wohnen und Schlafen. So you can decide how you make that. A terrasse is a porch, but if it's off the ground, it's a balcon. So this vocab word, balcon, is balcony. So make sure you write those two words down, as well as what's the dwelling and what do you see here. Nummer 2. Was für ein Haus sehen wir? We have some important things to note. EG, Erdgeschoss, which means ground floor. This is Obergeschoss, so it's like the second floor. Keller is a vocab word. Büro is a synonym for Arbeitszimmer, so Büro. And think about, why would this just be called Zimmer? Maybe what might you use those for? And then we have a balcon here. Dusche, WC, Badezimmer. Hier, was für ein Haus sehen wir? Oder siehst du, oder sehen Sie? Garage, die Garage. What's that in English? Kindzimmer. Interessant. What's that? Flur, kind of another synonym for Diele. So Nummer 3. Und auch viele Bäume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bäume. Or maybe 5 Bäume, and then maybe these 2 are bushes. Keine Ahnung. Nummer 4. This is a Ferienhaus. Ferien means vacation or holiday. So this is someone's vacation home. Must be nice. So we have Terrasse 1, Terrasse 2, Wohnen, Essen. Eingang means entrance. So a synonym, Haustür. Küche, WC, schlafen, schlafen. What do you think HVR is? Bade. And think about, what's the difference between a WC and a Badezimmer? Here's an Esstisch mit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Stühle. Here's TV, a Fernseher. So think about this, and then quite possibly think about your own home. Answer the question, right? Or finish the statement. Ich wohne in einem or einer Dwelling. Danke.